Alright, so there's a spaceship here. Got some marble chunks in there. Trying to do some mining. We are getting a good amount of steel from this one tile. We do have 2.8 days until we can launch again. We are starting to get plenty of chem fuel as well. So off to a good start here. But the main objective of this stream is to get into space and for the first time go mine an asteroid. And we aren't really here for the uranium that's on this specific asteroid. We're really here for just the natural stone that comes from any asteroid, which is called vac-stone. That vac-stone we can use and build some much needed large thrusters, which we need 50 vac-stone for each of these. We can build, I think, just 2 of these. But this will really help us be able to move around a lot further with every launch that we do of our ship, because it does have a certain range. So that's the main objective of tonight's stream, is to just get some vac-stone. You can also use vac-stone to craft these gravlite panels, which is the flooring for the ship, of which I think you either make it fabrication bench, yeah, fabrication bench, and each panel costs 5 vac-stone blocks and 1 plasteel, which I thought it was the other way around. I thought it was 5 plasteel and 1 vac-stone block, so I'm glad that's less plasteel. But we need a lot of these panels so that we can expand our ship. Currently it's looking very blocky and small. Right now this is the radius that we can build in. We're going to have to complete some quests to get an expanded radius, but if we can start crafting gravlite panels, then we can really make the most out of our ship. So yeah, we have some traders here. I forget who from our ship is good at social. Chopper seems like it. Smarty's okay. Sully has basically a level 0 social, which, you know, sad for the kid. Let's trade with them. Fish, C Duffo, Mexi Man, how are you doing tonight? There any playoff games tonight? Oh, they just want prisoners. Okay, so we can't really do much of them. Why do I feel like somebody is watching me? I feel like there's a song about that. You ever feel like somebody's watching you? Or you always feel like? Yeah. If you're ever just drifting through the wind, you may be a plastic bag. Steelers versus Texans on in a little bit. Nice. Who's expected to win that? Okay, we are mining a lot of this steel actually pretty quickly. We already have 4,000 mined from this one map. We did in, actually I was going to say the last stream, but we did off screen a little bit of playing. We got researched standard mech tech, which got us the ability to use this, where is he? This tunneler. And this tunneler does work, just mining constantly until he's out of battery. So he's doing most of the mining there. It's very, very nice. We also got another mechanator. I don't know if you say mechanator or mechanator. I think mechanator, but whatever. And we got our new person, miner. Her previous name was Audrey. I think we recently recruited her from our prison. Sorry, our re-education camp. And she now has a mech link, and she now is in charge of that miner. So it's working out well. Eventually, once we get more space in our ship, we're gonna build a charger for the tunneler. But tunneler's honestly pretty OP. If you draft it, it can also pop some smoke, which if enemies are shooting through that smoke, then the accuracy is reduced a ton. So there's that. So tunneler is great. Lots of utility there, and it also has a shield when it's drafted, which just absorbs hits. Steelers are higher seed, but Texans have nasty defense. I want Steelers to win, bro. probably Texans. Pats play the winner of this game Sunday. Who? Okay, so we want the Pats to have an easy game. I feel like some people at work were talking about that today. I forget what they were saying because I don't follow sports too much other than F1, but yeah, there was definitely some talk around playoff football today. All right, we have plenty of steel. We're just waiting for our cooldown, our engine cooldown on our ship to reach 0. We still have plenty of food on our ship. We have some leftover rice from the base when we departed there. Plenty of power, so our ship's looking good. They'll be busy for a little bit. Honestly, I might need them to like assign them some more stuff to mine out, but we'll be out here in no time. Maybe mine these components, mine some more steel. I don't think we're going to run out of room for our steel because we have this cargo container which holds a ton of items. This cargo container is a little cheap. There are more kind of dense ways to store items from this vanilla mod, but Julia subscribed with Prime. Thank you so much. Why are you using your Prime on me? You gotta use that for C. Duffo. I appreciate it. Cam's probably giving you some eyes right now. Best Zomboid streamer there is out there. The only Zomboid streamer I watch religiously. Alright, so they're just hauling that stuff. Let's go back to main base. We did have a prison break, and one of our prisoners died. We recruited somebody who was an artist, or they kind of just asked to join randomly. Sometimes you have those events. And so we accepted them, but after like a few days, it turned out that they were an enemy undercover, and they then tried to attack us from within. They didn't make it that far, but they did. It was a shame because they were our only artist, and it is nice to have artists because they can make these like sculptures. And this one's not the highest beauty, but sometimes you can get like 240, I think like 300 and like 600 or something. I don't know if these large sculptures can get that high. You might need one that takes up 4 tiles for that, but and extra beauty can turn a bedroom that was just impressive to very impressive, which can help with their mood buffs. I think it's, where is it? Very impressive dining room, rec room, very impressive bedroom, which is +5 mood. So if we can put some of those sculptures in everybody's bedroom, then it just adds another few points to their mood, which is not necessary, but you know, it's, if you have an artist and you have some extra marble laying around, then it's basically free. And we don't have any natural marble on our main colony on that map, so whenever we go places, I try to pick it up with our ship. Party Frenzy John. Gain recreation twice as fast. You like to attend a party? I think I can make a party happen, but they have to work. Can't be doing that. Alright, Sully is getting to work making some more chem fuel. We're already at 1200 chem fuel. We use around like 400 chem fuel each launch, and once we get these engines, then it can be more than that. It really depends how far you go, but our max range currently uses 400 chem fuel. So we have plenty of chem fuel, and that's just the reserves. We have another 1500 in these tanks that gets directly used. We did kit out our 4 people in our ship with marine armor and vac suit helmets. That way they can be in space and breathe in space. We did use a lot of plasteel trying to make some additional marine armor. So T over here is using this long-range mineral scanner to try to find another chunk of plasteel. That way we can get like 500 to 700 more plasteel pretty easily. And honestly, that's a really good way to get like expensive items, like a lot of them, and items that aren't heavy. Like you don't want to use this long-range mineral scanner for steel, because first, steel's pretty easy to get, especially with the ship. As you can see, in a couple of days we got like 4,000 to 5,000 steel. But things like plasteel, gold, I forget how heavy uranium is, jade, silver, those are all somewhat light, so those are can easily fit in a passenger shuttle. We are being raided by the mech hive, which are the robots. They're going to prepare for a while and then attack us. It looks like they're attacking us from a couple different angles. Looks like only a couple scythes there. And where are they over here? And okay, so this honestly wasn't that big a raid. Thing with Randy is dependent on your wealth. Like the wealth is determining factor of. Actually, wait a minute. I should just make sure that everybody's in their safe zone, even our pets, and especially our people. Should probably have our children permanently set to our safe zone, but whatever. What was I saying? Oh, raids. Yeah, raids and other like events are dependent on your wealth. So the size of the raid determines how much wealth you have determines the size of your raid. And with Randy, there's like a random scale of whether you get a small end raid or a large raid, depending on that wealth. And usually it's in the average somewhere close to your wealth. But with Randy, I think it just randomly picks. It doesn't, take into account any bell curve around that wealth to raid system. So sometimes you can just get a really small raid or like 4 times the size, 6 times the size raid. I'm kind of just making up those numbers on the spot, but it's somewhere around there. Sam, first time chat, welcome to the stream. If you are familiar with RimWorld, let me know what I'm doing wrong. Let me know if you see anything that just doesn't make sense. I am playing with some mods. If you're new to RimWorld, then sit back and enjoy. It's a colony sci-fi survival simulator. There should be one more of these guys. Yep. So this is a pretty easy raid. Our kill box can pretty easily take care of that. They do drop actually kind of a significant amount of plasteel. I wish there were more of them. Jeez. Just got 85 plasteel from that, which we need. So yeah, if you're new to RimWorld, it's like The Sims, but more survival and a lot more that you can control. It does seem like a lot at first, especially with some of the mods that I'm running, but there's definitely people out there with way more complex mods than me. I try not to do anything too game breaking. I do have one mod that is a little game breaking for like impenetrable walls, but I don't have that built yet. So welcome. Feel free to stick around and tune in the future too. We're doing a playthrough to get to the mech hive ending of the Odyssey DLC. Where's John? We need to try, or actually it's Lucy now that we have to try to convert to our religion. I don't know where she is. Okay, she's out mining. Off camera, I did a little mining in the soon-to-be bunker area. It's coming together. You can see some shapes taking form. This area will be more so of a barracks with multiple beds, and then we'll also have 6 single bedrooms as well that are more so for the people who need a mood buff. And if we're retreating to the bunker, then we're definitely going to need to control everybody's mood a little bit. So that's coming together as well. In the last stream, we also, as you saw, expanded our kill box a little bit. Our kill box previously went to right here, and we expanded it all the way down here. I do have to remember to take everybody off their safe zone so that they actually rebuild this. I do sometimes forget about that. Alright, C Duffo, what are good ways to drop wealth quickly? To drop wealth, I mean, you can just like give items to traders and do that for goodwill and eventually get like the allied status. So then you can, if you get raided and you have allies, you can use the comms console and call them in, and they'll come within like an hour to help take care of any raid or any problem that you have at the cost of some goodwill. I think that costs like 25 goodwill or something. It's a decent amount. I think the max you can have is 100. But the best way to manage wealth is not to have like a bunch of extra resources that you don't need, especially if it doesn't help towards defense. I play on pretty low difficulty settings, so nothing crazy. But if I was to do a 500 times like difficulty run, I would definitely not want a lot of extra resources. Like, I wouldn't have these 62 advanced components, I'd keep that at 10. I wouldn't have 10,000 silver, I would put all that silver into buying stuff that I can use for defense, whether it's steel to make turrets or whatever. Being too wealthy is an issue, like especially and mostly at high difficulty levels, which I'm not necessarily at, so it's not too much of an issue. But I have one friend, Rob, who plays RimWorld, and when he does, he always gets 1 million animals and literally fills the whole map with crops. So then he has like 20,000 of each crop type and a bunch of leather, a bunch of meat, and his wealth goes absolutely through the roof, and it's stuff that he will never fully use. So yeah, he always has problems with raids, and his kill boxes are absolutely insane because they have to be. Which kill boxes are one thing that I kind of hate about the game, but there's ways around it. Alright, so we have some shamblers, basically zombies approaching. They will die in 3 days, naturally, but they will kind of like migrate around, and if they see any of our people, especially for mining some new areas, which kind of already mined a lot of this already, then they might attack our people. We can launch in 10 hours, so we might be able to just completely ignore them. But yeah, we'll see. I'm gonna just try to conserve our tunneler's energy because I don't have a charger for him now. Put him on the ship, and then I guess same with the lifter. Draft them, put them on the ship, and then put them in a like offline mode. That way they recharge very slowly. Probably won't get much, but mostly just to make sure that they don't lose, I think, 5% every day, or 10% if they're actively working. So undraft them and then set them to dormant self-charge, and then they'll just knock out right there until we launch. I don't know if yeah, I guess we can take care of these zombies, might as well level up our shooting a little bit. Alright, these guys aren't great at shooting, so zombies are probably good to get some practice. And when it comes to shooting, I'm not huge into fighting, but when it comes to shooting, there's a whole bunch of different things that affect how accurate people are. You know, their skill plays a role. If you select the rifle and aim at something, it tells you the % chance of hitting them. So Smarty right now has an 8.5% chance. That's because I think them as a shooter is 14%. Their weapon is pretty good. I think it's yeah, a good quality assault rifle. There's like Masterwork, Legendary, Good, Excellent, Poor, Normal, and those all affect how accurate the weapon is. There's also cover, so if there's bushes in the way or trees, or if an enemy is hiding behind a chunk, that also affects it. So ideally, you want to fight in open terrain. If they don't have weapons, if they do have weapons, I might have them retreat a little bit, just because they aren't doing what I need them to. By a little bit, I mean a lot. Try to get to this area over here that looks a little bit more open for them to land some better shots. And hopefully the zombies aren't faster. It looks like they aren't. They have better aim than Rito in real life, at least. Yes, yeah. Rito went to the gun range and missed every single shot on the target. And well, he shot the target, but above the line that they told us not to shoot above that line. So that was fun. But live and learn. Alright, hopefully they will kill that before it reaches them. Cool. And it looks like these other zombies are a little bit slower. I thought there was a third, right? Oh, that one's super slow. Just because we already did some damage to it. Fog can also impact accuracy. Sometimes you can take quests where it makes it like makes it foggy for like 7 days, and usually when that quest gets accepted, you do get raided. It seems like in that time, so it's a little bit harder to manage. But in situations where you only have 3 people, it's a little bit harder to manage. But when you have a whole colony of people and kill boxes, it doesn't matter too much. So as you play the game, you kind of have to learn the different things that the game can throw at you and try to prepare for them and make them as insignificant as possible if they do happen. Alright, so I'm hoping once we get the larger engines on our ship, then we'll be able to check out some cooler places and like infiltrate some buildings and get some cool gear. Eclipse, so our solar panels aren't working, which actually could be bad. We're down almost 7,000 watts, so our batteries will slowly go down. The Eclipse should only last like a day, day and a half. Okay, our ship is ready to launch again. I think we have enough metal or steel, so we can launch and go into space for the first time, which will be nice. So let's do that. Get everybody on the ship. Cool. Everybody who needs to be on is on. Let's launch and go to this asteroid. 400 chem fuel. Let's do it. Orbital locations are dangerous. Make sure you're prepared. Yep. Airtight walls and doors. Ensure rooms are well heated and fully roofed. Construct oxygen pumps. Hopefully I did that. Some exterior walls or doors are not airtight. No functional heat source. Oh, this is actually telling me some exterior walls or doors are not airtight. No functional heat sources. I think that might be because it doesn't see Dub's bad hygiene. So I'm gonna take the risk and go into space. We do have some normal doors, but we do also have some like vac barrier doors as well. I wanted to make sure that we had both. That way we can, you know, if the power goes out and the vac door fails, then we will be safe, or safer from at least raiders. So this is an asteroid with uranium, which we don't necessarily need, but we can always take it and sell it. I do want to build a nuclear power plant at some point, and that consumes uranium. Now, when you land a ship, you need to make sure that your doors of the ship are connecting with the asteroid or space platform or whatever you're trying to land on. I think I can rotate this, yeah. So we're gonna make sure we do that. And honestly, I might land like this, that way. If we get one of the high chances of something breaking on our ship, and if our engines break, then we can easily repair it. It's not just hanging off on the side like that, and we won't be able to repair all of them. So this should be good like that. Confirm. See, Duffo, every colony has a Rhino. Yeah. There's usually a lot of Rhinos, unfortunately. Okay, overheated grav engine. Grav will take longer than normal to cool down. 7.7 days. I think that's doubled. So instead of like 3.5-ish, then yeah, it takes 7.7. So we're gonna be stuck here for some time. We have plenty of food though. We have plenty of power. I wonder if when you're in orbit, there's an eclipse. If that also affects. But we have tons of batteries and we aren't using a lot of power in space, so we're chilling. So what we want to do here is we want to do a lot of just general strip mining and get this vac stone that's here. This is all vac stone. Along with that, we can also, mine any uranium that we see. The asteroids don't have that much like uranium or whatever resource it says they have, but we can also do some strip mining as well and try to find some. Let me just speed up time. We can get our tunneler going. I guess both our tunneler and lifter. And since everybody has their spacesuits on, then yeah, they're good to go. And the mechs thrive in space, they're fine. So that is going party frenzy. Everybody wants a party, it seems like. And we do have our stone cutter set to cut all the backstone as much as possible. You can see our miner. Actually, they shouldn't be crafting right now. They should be mining. Yeah, I don't know why this person's crafting. Maybe because I didn't assign any mining at first, and once he's done with this chunk, then he'll, or she will go back to mining. See, Duffo, how long do you plan to stay on this asteroid, and does your main colony pause while out here? No, they both run, side by side. If I pause at one of them, then the other pauses. And if I go to 2 times, whatever speed I go to, it mirrors it on everywhere. You can have multiple colonies. I can make a colony on an asteroid if I really want to. If I'm gonna make a colony in space, it's gonna be at a specific space station that has like near unlimited power. That way you can put these band nodes, and each of these band nodes use a good amount of power, but it also increases the bandwidth of your mechanator, which means that they can make an extra mech and control an extra mech. You can see Miner, who's a mechanator, has bandwidth. She's used 4 out of 6. So each of those band nodes would increase it by 1, and if you have near unlimited power, then you can really just build a bunch of those band nodes and really make a decent small mech army there. So we aren't planning on staying on this asteroid too long, but we do want to mine as much vaxstone as possible. That way we can first build our large thrusters and increase the range of our ship, but also so we can, once we get more plasteel, make as many gravelite panels as we want. I think 100 gravelite panels will cost 500 vaxstone, so it is a decent amount. I think each of these chunks yields 20 stone. And I think that goes with any stone chunk. It yields 20 blocks. So we would need a bunch of stone just to make a bunch of gravelite panels, but it is what it is. Alright, yeah, okay. I felt like I was on 1 time speed there, and I was. Infestation. Yay. I love dealing with these, and it sounds like it's in our bunker area, which is a perfect place because we don't have anything expensive here. We just have some colonists, which I don't know how to make this guy go away, but it looks like he's resting anyways. Looks like our hauler's there. This hauler's taking that. Definitely want to get the baby out of here. Or, I guess it's not a baby, but his name is Baby. Put Baby down there. Severn down there. Recruit Pex, who's also a child, but nothing's better than a child with a gun. We should, I don't know how many hives this will spawn. We will find that out, but just as a precaution, let's recruit some people. Because if it's a lot, then there's going to be a lot of insects. And also recruit another kid. Cool. That should be fun. We can also recruit Samantha and have her militars also show up to the party. So we'll see how that goes. Hopefully these lifters have enough time to get out of the room. Everybody's coming by. It looks like there's going to be a couple or a few hives that spawn. Okay, a couple hives. It's honestly not that bad. I'm hoping one of them will peek out here. They can mine the walls, which would be a little annoying. I kind of don't want them to do that, but I might have our melee people go in front, block this doorway, so that none of them can get through. And while that's happening, actually, let's put our 2 militors out front there. Hopefully they can squeeze by. That way they take the brunt of the damage. And then all our shooters... No, I don't want you to clean. No, I guess that works. And see how this goes. Probably should have put these melee people up front, but if it was a bigger hive, I would have put the melee people up front. I just didn't want anybody to lose an arm unnecessarily or anything like that. Alright, so that was actually pretty easy. We will move those over there. And we can, yeah, that was taken care of very easily. I should probably just make sure that these insects die. But now we can butcher these insects and convert their insect meat into chem fuel. So always a good way to get some free chem fuel. And I thought these Militors would shoot at these things, but alright, that is taken care of. Can I have to deconstruct those? I feel like I should be able to melee. Yeah, I don't know why I'm not. Alright, cool. I'll just let these guys chill until they die. They might walk around a little bit, but the closer they are to bleeding out. I could just have our kid, he's eating the insect jelly. I wonder if that, I forget if that gives a mood buff. Nope. Defeated insect hive. +4 for 9 days, that's honestly not bad. Alright, well, let's have this kid just beat the crap out of some insects for a bit. Level up melee, might as well. Free melee points. Doesn't seem like he's getting much though. Yeah, he is not getting much. Or sorry, she. She is not getting much. Alright, so that formally takes care of that. Cool. And the people in space should be mining a whole bunch. I want to make sure that we continuously have somebody crafting the Vaxstone. And I think Smarty or Sully should be. Sully's constructing right now, which is fine. Getting our first large thruster. And Smarty is sleeping, which is also fine. So we're making progress on this. I guess it works out that we're stuck here for a bit. If we get raided here, I think it's mostly mechs that raid, but I'm not 100% sure on that. Okay, looks like the eclipse did actually affect us in orbit, so that's good to know for the future. I don't know why these insects got put here. Whatever. Somebody should butcher them. I think Severin is one of our cooks. Yeah, he's butchering now. Okay, cool. I don't know what's with this snow effect. It looks like it's, I don't know, there's particles that are frozen. I don't know if that's bugged. I've never really found any bugs with RimWorld, so that's gotta just be, there was a blizzard and that's what it looks like. How low did our batteries get? Like halfway with that eclipse. So ideally we want some more power sources. Unfortunately, geothermal is like a super good way to get a lot of power, especially with advanced geothermal, the mod I have. But we have none of those vents within our walls. There's, of course, a few outside, a whole bunch outside our walls, but none within. So we're gonna have to probably use nuclear at some point, and I've never used that, so we'll see how effective that is. Cool. Keep hauling those. Looks like Sully is now chopping those up, and we have 2 new engines. So I wonder what our max range now is. Let's see. View range. Probably isn't a good way. Oh, it's actually pretty far now. Before it used 400 chem fuel at the max distance, now it uses 720, so almost twice as far, which is nice. Alright, cool. Our power is not a problem on our ship. We do need some more plasteel so we can make some gravlite panels, but maybe we'll complete a quest. I don't think there's any quests over here. You can see these, any symbol that looks like this, ancient stockpile or whatever, where there's grav cores or gravlite panels, they'll be on the map tile that has this symbol. And I think there's only a couple. There's that and this. We might be able to get to this one from our ship. Let me just check ahead of time. Nope, it's just out of range. Cool. Alright, we're filling up on these vaxstone chunks, so we're going to need somebody constantly cutting stone blocks just to make the most out of how many chunks we get. Our tunneler's going to town. Our lifter that we have is going crazy, but it's actually running out of battery. I didn't want to make any chargers here, but I guess I kind of have to. I could just not use a lifter, but having a lifter is nice. How do I want to do this? I think if I do that there, I have to move a couple of these for now. Reinstall that there, and we'll be able to put a big one there. Actually, let me cancel that for now. Let's have you deliver that, and move this bed, move your own bed as well. That way we can do a mech recharger there, and then a solar flare, alright. Actually, I don't think the large one here would have affected our research bench, but I just want to make sure. Should have plenty of steel and components for that. Solar flare. I don't think solar flares affect anything in space, but on the ground, obviously, you can see it does. I'm not concerned about heat. It's 3 degrees out, but it's still 70 degrees inside, and that's because we have a log boiler in addition to our electric water heater. And how we heat the place are with these radiators. We just have a ton of radiators scattered around the base, heating everything, and we just have these vents connecting all the room, which is a pretty easy way to do it. However, if there's a fire that breaks out in a mountain base and it gets serious, that's actually a pretty short solar flare. If a fire gets serious inside, then like the whole base can get to hundreds of degrees, and people will start getting heat stroke and roasting alive. So in that situation, if somebody's deep in the mountain, then you might want to just like put them in a room and close the vent, and if there's enough like insulation, then it shouldn't get as hot in the room. But ideally you just evacuate everybody until the fire's gone, or try to put out the fire. I think people with certain gear have different comfortable temperature ranges. So with marine armor and a vac suit helmet, it's around negative 100 degrees Fahrenheit that they're good with, and then 115 degrees Fahrenheit. Anything like way beyond that, like 200 degrees, then they'll start getting heat stroke and stuff. Alright, seems like our tunneler is going to town. You can see how much faster he is because he just goes crazy. And it's nice seeing all of the sewage getting launched into space. That's always a nice thing to do. We are starting to use up some of our meals. We have 138 meals stored in these nutrient paste vats. Kind of ate through the rice on these hoppers, but we still have plenty. There's only 4 people, which means 8 meals a day. So they still have a bunch of days that they're fine, and if we go back down onto the planet, then we can just hunt, get some meat, or harvest some wild berries and restock up on food. But we're probably going to go to the main colony again by the time our food even gets anywhere close to getting low. Just want to check our water. Water tank's fine. Cool. I think we've only used like 1,000 liters. It's not like Project Zomboid on CDuffo streams where it takes weeks of rain to fill up barrels even a quarter of the way. I think 1/6 of the way. I think we just got 1/6 of the way with our rain barrels on Zomboid. Alright, so we are making a bunch of blocks, which is good. I do want to make more. Okay, we did convert one of our prisoners, it seems like. Meadows. Okay, we're getting raided again by some cultists. Which probably means they're gonna try to set up like a summoning circle and teleport one of our colonists like somewhere random, and we'll never see them again, or there's a very small chance that we'll see them. So we have to actively attack those people before that happens. I think that's how these cultist raids work. Before that, I just want to make sure with our prisoner. Okay, it is not unwaveringly loyal. This is actually a pretty good prisoner. We have mining construction, which we need for anybody who stays on our ship. Shooting and melee is always good to have, and also artistic, so they can be our new art person. Just level that up like crazy. So now we want to set them to get recruited now that they are converted. Alright, with the cultists, they intend to use a psychic ritual to summon hideous flesh beasts to attack you. Alright, cool. They might perform the ritual multiple times. You need to go and stop them. So there's actually a decent amount of them. It looks like they only have melee. Just want to make sure that they aren't popping up anywhere else from the map. Doesn't look like they are. I don't think they're going to go through the kill trap. We did get a muffalo. Nice. Some extra meals right there. I do want to, since there's a bunch of them, there's 8 of them, which actually is not bad at all. I'm gonna recruit everybody. They don't have range, so they shouldn't be that much of a concern, but we'll see. Just recruit everybody. We have a couple mechs that can help us. Looks like they're going up here, so ritual in 4 hours. So I'll try to interrupt that as soon as possible. 3 hours. Something trigger the... Oh, another muffalo is going through. I just want to be in here. It seems like another muffalo is bleeding out. We're just... Oh, I was not paying attention. Alright, Lucy might get downed. Yeah, I wasn't paying. I just have to purely pay attention when stuff's happening. Hopefully Lucy doesn't die. Seems like she's... Okay, she got downed. She's not bleeding out, which is good. Just have everybody retreat real quick. Where is... Okay, Samantha's up there. I'm gonna have... like everybody really retreat. That way it's open here, there's no trees to get in the way. But we got King Julian. King Julian! Oh no, not our baby. Military, take the hits. I don't care if we lose a Milidor, but I don't want to lose a second child. Alright, that's fine. I'm fine with that. Let's get John and T up there. Alright, I think they're still doing the ritual. I think we're pretty good. We can probably just melee this guy. So let's have them melee. There should be... Oh, there's a bunch of corpses. We should be able to undraft everybody and call that good. Did have one of our Military just die, but that's okay. We should have somebody rescue Lucy. Okay, Severin's already doing that. And there's 2 hours before the ritual is completed, so if we kill this guy before then, we should be fine. And John and T should make light work. I think John just chopped his head off. A missing head caused flower to expire. Yeah, that'll do it. Cool. Alright, that was a little more hectic than it should have been, but I mean, we sacrificed a Militer to save some of our people and buy our people a little bit of time, so I'm fine with that. It just costs like no more than 50 steel, I think. Just state lifter. Resurrect. Yeah, 25 steel and 1 corpse, so 25 steel is the price that I'll pay every single time. I'll always make that trade. Because steel is cheap, especially when you have a ship. We already mined 8,000 of it from one stop, from like 4 days of mining. Alright, we're doing good on Vaxstone. I might actually convert one of these to more Vaxstone, but whatever. It's not often that you go to space and mine asteroids. Sovereign's healing Lucy. He actually has to convert Lucy as well. Or at least try to. Cool, 68 to 50% isn't bad. I want... What is Smarty doing? Hauling? Why are you doing that? There's 2 things. Oh, you're just hauling right now. Oh, now you're relaxing. No, you're gonna do this for like 10 hours. Sea Duffel, what are some other things you look for on an asteroid? There's not honestly too much. Sometimes if there's like a quest that takes you to an asteroid, there's like a building in the center of it that you have to find your way into and then find your way around, and usually there's dangers in that, like some robots that try to kill you or that are trying to defend the place. It's usually pretty manageable, but if you don't have shield belts on that can take some hits, or actually a bunch of hits, then you know, you don't have any losses. If you don't have any shield belts, then they can get pretty bloody. Major break risk Lucy. She just got bandaged up and now she's just soaking herself. Nice. What is our clean sweeper doing? Oh, it's digging the snow. So our base is looking pretty messy right now. And that does affect the beauty of it. If you look, you can see all these like dirty patches are -4. This dead rabbit is -49. It all averages out, but I want to try to prevent that. But getting rid of the snow is good because it also increases the walk speed. Where in the snow it's 52%, and on these flagstones that are clear to snow it's 100%. So not bad. Other things that you can find on asteroids are just like, if it's a uranium asteroid like this, it might have small pockets of uranium. It's usually pretty hard and tedious to find, and you're better off just using the mineral scanner on the planet. But usually there's just buildings on an asteroid. So if you want to make an asteroid base, then that's usually a good thing to do, is do a quest that takes you to an asteroid with a building in the center of it, and then clear it out and then convert it into a base. And usually the walls for those asteroid buildings are pretty strong as well. You can also get these ancient mining charges, and you can like put them around your base and shoot at them to make them go off. And as raiders are coming through, it takes a little while to go off, so you can kind of run away as that's happening and then hopefully blow up when the raiders are walking past. It's a little tricky to do, but I've seen a bunch of people do that successfully before. So some people just stock up on these mining charges as well. Other than that, asteroids aren't too much to do. There's also space like platforms. Actually, there's a trading faction which was new with the new update. So you can actually raid them, which they probably have a ton of stuff on them, but then you become instant enemies with them. So I'm probably not going to do that, at least in this playthrough. I might have a playthrough where I make enemies with everybody. But yeah, just need to keep chopping away at these. I need to have, instead of hauling, I need you to craft instead of hauling while we're up here. Cool. So they'll do that for a bit. We should, I don't know why Samantha isn't resurrecting. Oh, I have to set this to forever. That's why. I always want to resurrect light mechanoids when we have any dead. Another raid. We are getting a lot of raids. These red dots up here indicate raids. So we had a very slow period, and now we're getting a bunch of raids, which should be pretty like purely random when it comes to the settings that we have. But okay, Neanderthals, jump to location. Okay, it's at our main base. There's 4 right there. I have a feeling there's going to be some more scattered around. There's 1 right there, and none over here. So since there's potentially some stuff for people to pick up out here, I'm going to put everybody on the safe zone. That way they don't go outside our walls. I could probably expand our safe zone to out here, but for now, that's okay. Sometimes you get a drop pod raid in here. I want to pick up these muffalos at some point too. It's free meat. Honestly, our spike traps should take care of these guys. There are a few of them. Neanderthals are pretty strong as well. They can take some hits. Although you can see just like a blood trail. These poor muffalos. One went in and then went back out. What is this? A grizzly bear? A dead grizzly bear? There's just a lot of dead animals. Yeah, a spike trap and a dead boomlope. What killed this? Loss of blood, spike trap. Damn. So this thing probably walked in here and set it off. Yeah, spike traps aren't good for the natural animals, but that's okay. Free meat for us. At the cost of some wood. We're down to 2,000 wood, which probably like to have a little bit more, but we're still fine. Tattered apparel. What do people have that's tattered? Pants? Flak pants. I don't think I made flak pants, so... T-shirt? Really? Who else had tattered apparel? Clemmy? Hat. Alright, well, you can definitely make a couple more pants, a couple more t-shirts, and another couple hats. Alright, so they're starting to attack. There might be a couple that make it through, so I want to recruit John. If they make it past the last trap, then we'll have John there. Let's recruit him, and might as well recruit a few kids. Child labor's never a bad thing. Alright, coming through. They're actually taking a lot of hits, but spike traps might do the job. Alright, that guy's bleeding out. We'll check his stats in a second. This guy's probably not going to make it through. Nice. Perfect amount of traps right there. Alright. Make sure nobody's coming up. Cool. Before I forget, unrestrict everybody. Unrestrict our animals. And unrestrict everybody there. And let's check on Blue. Let's see if he's addicted to any drugs. If he is unwaveringly loyal, which he isn't. He's a jogger, which is good. Incapable of dumb labor, which I prefer not to have, but it's not a deal breaker. They're good at shooting, or they have passion for melee, which is good. Other than that, nothing too crazy, but we can always have people who are good at shooting. I think Severin is the one who is always carrying herbal medicine, so I like to have him capture and heal our prisoners. Blue only has 3 hours, bleeding out 3 hours, so hopefully we can get him back in time. If it gets down to an hour, then I might do some field healing and just heal him on the ground. I also have this that we can use as well. We can switch this over to prisoners, and I might have to do this clear, reselect him, capture. And he should heal him right away. So he's down to an hour. Death in 1 hour. Death in 2 hours. Death in 1 hour. Death in 3 hours. Just needs more herbal medicine. Death in 2 hours. Should be fine now. Death in 5 hours. Yep, he is fine now. And once he's all attended, we will kick him out of here. Somebody will haul him over into the normal prison. You can get rid of these floor beds. Who's blue? I think that was the person who died. Alright, Fiona is hauling him over there. And I don't want colonists using this just because it's not close to our medicine. Unless this hospital overflows, that's the only time that I'll use this hospital over here. But I put this one here just because it's close to any fighting that we'll do. It's always good to have a hospital near your kill box, near where there's going to be some action. So if colonists get injured, then you can heal them right away. You don't have to like haul them into the depths of your base, or what we just did, you can take a prisoner there, and the infection chance is dramatically reduced in an actual hospital. Yeah, he'll pull through. And speaking of that, let's convert him to our religion while he heals up, and he's probably going to be in a bad mood, which means we should be able to convert him a little bit faster. Alright, looks like we found a chunk of plastisteel, or plasteel. I always say plastisteel. But yeah, we'll load up the shuttle, bring a couple people over there. Once Lucy heals up, then we'll go there and get some much needed plasteel. I think we're down to 0. We have none. If you're just joining, welcome. We got a pretty established colony so far, working on a bunker eventually, and then we have our ship. We just landed on our first asteroid, so we're trying to get as much vac-stone as possible. We just added some nice large thrusters, which almost doubled the range that our ship has, but we're trying to get still as much vac-stone as possible so we can craft grav-light panels once we get some more plasteel as well. So we should be able to make like 120 grav-light panels, which we need to increase the size of our ship. Yeah, those panels just increase the size of the ship, and you need those panels to build any, like for anything to be considered a ship, it needs to be on those panel floors. And then this is the range. This circle here is where we can build those floors. We can get some devices that increase these grav field extenders that increase the range of our ship. But you can also see 412 out of 500. That's how many grav-light panel floors that you can have for this. If you add an extender, then that increases that amount. I forget if it's by 500 for each extender. It might be less. It's probably less. I don't. Yeah, 500. Okay, that's actually not bad. I thought it was going to be like 200 or 250, but thruster, barely near. Nice fish. But yeah, so we're just using our new tunneler that we have. He's wandering right now. That means he has nothing to mine, so we can give him some more to mine. I wonder. We still have 4 days till our engines cool down. When we landed, it gave us a negative landing condition where it kind of made our engine cooldown time twice as long, just because we have crappy pilots. So at this point, I don't think we found any. Oh, we did find some uranium. Might as well mine this and we can sell it. Uranium sells pretty well. Might as well keep strip mining a little bit. And like I was telling C-Duffo, there's actually probably don't want to go up that high. There's some asteroids that have like buildings inside of them, and you can explore them and There's dangers inside of them, but usually there's some worthwhile items in them as well. But yeah, so these guys will be busy for a while. I think I have some wake up somewhere, which is high intensity Adderall, which refreshes their sleeping and reduces how quickly their sleep timer goes down. So they don't need as much sleep for like a day and a half. Let me just find where that is. Wake up, have somebody haul it there. And I think our lifter is fully recharged now. Our tunneler is going to need to recharge in a bit, but that's okay. We have a couple recharge stations on our ship now. We just added those. They do use a decent amount of power, but our solar panel during the day should make up for that, so it's okay. Okay, here's our wake up. Let's have Sully. No, you're gonna prioritize doing this for a bit. And once you get tired, we're gonna have you take wake up. Alright, how close is Lucy to being healed? And we are actually kind of running a little bit low on Luciferium. Once this gets down to 0, then Lucy and our dog, who are not only addicted to it, but have like a bodily need for it. If they don't fulfill that need, then they will throw murderous rages and eventually die. Or pretty quickly die, I think. So I like to not have Luciferium in the colony, but those two people. Lucy came in the colony with that addiction, so that's why that happened, and then our dog ate it and got addicted. Surprised the raccoon. Holy crap. 22 squirrels? Are you kidding me? That's gonna probably plow through all our spike traps. We did manage to rebuild it. We used like 1,000 wood rebuilding this, but it's all gonna get decimated again. Alright, let me recall all our people. Fish, wasn't there one time where we had like 40 elephants raid our multiplayer world one time, and I think it made us crash as well. Or it made you crash? I don't know, something was there. I'm probably gonna have to recruit, I don't know, 20, like squirrels aren't that bad to deal with, but them in numbers might be. So I'm just gonna put our melee people right there. Let's have Samantha, because she has at least 1 Militor. Okay, we have 2. This one's recently resurrected. So let's have, nope, that's the wrong thing. Assign to escort, have Samantha recruited, that way, oh, she's up there, nice. Let's have Angus Beef recruited because he has a shotgun, and Cleme always goes to every fight, so might as well. Yeah, that's a decent amount of squirrels. They should be like 1 hit for our melee people. And I don't know how many spike traps we have. We have 31, so honestly this might be enough spike traps that we have. Oh, it seems like we already got some that wanted to go over here. And it seemed like this boomlope decided to catch on fire and destroy some of our spike traps, but it also caught some of the squirrels on fire, which is nice. Alright, so we're fine from that. Cool. I didn't know if we would be, so I just wanted to make sure. Rather be too cautious than not cautious enough. And we're gonna have to rebuild all the spike traps again. That's why I make them out of wood and not stone. Settlement a name. What should local settlement? I don't know. We aren't gonna stay here, so it doesn't matter. I say we name it Mexi Man. You have an asteroid named after you now. Don't let the power get to your head. Oh, I did want Sully to take Adderall, but it looks like he slept. We can have Smarty take it. And with taking this, it should increase their consciousness, which increases manipulation, which means this person can cut the chunks a little bit more, or a little bit faster. If we install bionic arms, then it would be another 50% faster, which is why I try to... Please spare me. Death's Destroyer of Worlds, oh god. He's letting the power get to his head. C-Duffo, are solar panels any more or less effective in space than versus on the ground? I am not sure. We can test that right now. See what the max is on this, and then see what the max is on the ones that are on the planet, as it's beginning to get into daytime. What is this? Oh, it's a mech chunk. Okay, we have a bunch of extra meat. I don't know why it's not... Okay, we have a bunch of extra meat here. I want to take out survival meals. And what else is in here? Contents. Just have a bunch of meat. We have enough rice. What did I set this to? Cook fine meal. Why is nobody cooking? We have a bunch of cooks in the colony too. Cook. He should cook. Clemmy should cook. I don't know why Clemmy's not cooking. Oh, he doesn't have a skill for it. So Severin's the only person. And he's probably been busy warding. We can force him to cook for a bit. That way we don't let all this spoil. It's probably a bunch of muffalo meat and all that, but... Alright, those are still getting to max solar output. We do have a bunch of rice. I actually have too much rice pretty soon. We won't necessarily need to convert it to chem fuel because our ship is doing a pretty good job of that. We do need more wood though. We are using up all our wood from our spike traps going off, so let's we already chopped down a lot of the trees near our spike traps. It looks like this is where a lot of our fighting is, so I kind of just want to clear this in general. That way we have more of an open view if we want to do any shooting, and better accuracy that way. Looks like we're eating squirrels for a bit. Yeah, that's definitely right. We we let the bodies hit the floor for a little bit. If Clemme can't cook fine meals, he can definitely do some butchering. Alright, Smarty is still cutting stone. We have 1,000 vac stone right now, which honestly should last us for a little bit. We are filling up our storage even though we have a ridiculous amount of storage. It's mainly the steel that filled us up, but let's see if we found any new uranium veins from our strip mining. This doesn't yield a lot of uranium if it's a uranium asteroid, or even if it's whatever kind of asteroid it is, it doesn't yield a ton. Our tunneler's probably going to need to recharge soon. Yeah, 7 energy. Get the most out of him before he has to sit down. Alright, solar panel, 3,000 watts, and then in space it is 3,000 watts. It's just started to go down, but it was there, so it seems like in space is the same. Not like Factorio, where in space is definitely a lot more. If somebody takes wake up multiple days in a row, I think if they take it multiple days in a row, then they can get addicted to it. I think if you take it every 3 or 4 days, then that chance of getting addicted is 0. I forget what the exact number is, but you can put people on schedules to take wake up so they don't waste as much time sleeping and that they stay productive more often than not. But sometimes, especially if they're older, wake up can cause heart attacks, and I don't love dealing with that. But you can set in this game like drug policies, so you can make like 1 drink per day or 1 wake up every 4 days, and set individual people to that schedule. So there's a lot of things that you can definitely get into in the game. Clemme is still butchering. We got a lot of meat to go through. We got a lot of meat. Is Severin teaching a lesson? I might have him take wake up after the lesson, and hopefully he goes right back to cooking. Have I ever eaten squirrel in real life? No, I have not. Have you? I haven't. I've never like skinned a fish or anything like that. Wait, why? Oh, Blue can't walk around, so he can't get his own meal. Blue did get pretty messed up. I wonder if he's feeling blue. Alright, now he's cooking fine meals. I'm just gonna have him prioritize doing that, so he's stuck doing that for a bit. Smarty is going to town, making blocks. What is our engine cooldown on this? 2.4 days. Probably once that's up, then I'll end stream. Bring this. Actually, I don't think I can make it back to the colony. It's like a couple tiles away, so it's gamey. It tastes like dark chicken meat. Pretty nuts. Yeah, I bet the squirrels don't go nuts for you eating them, but that's okay. Alright, so everyone's still making some fine meals. I think all our fine meals are, yeah, stacking up here. We did just get a lot of meat, so at least we can burn through some of that. Honestly, we can make more packaged meals. Hopefully people aren't eating the packaged survival meals. It also seems like we're running out of storage in our main colony here. I think we're starting to use up these shelves, which are our overflow shelves, and when it gets really overflowed, I'll go to this cargo container, which I should make 2 of these. I don't need to. Whatever. It's fine for now. I could have our miner up here, who is a mechanator, have... I think a tunneler takes 3 bandwidth, so she could have 2 tunnelers and max out her bandwidth. But it is also nice having a lifter in space, so I might keep that as is for now. Alright, I think we have honestly enough vac-stone chunks, so these guys probably don't need to keep mining, but they're gonna have nothing else to do, so might as well level up their mining so they get faster at it for the future. Alright, how is our wood situation? We're down to 300 wood. These should be getting pretty close to empty. Yeah. And this one is critical priority, so there should always be wood in that if we have wood. I should get a mech that is an agrihand, which will help cut trees when we need trees to get cut, or help plant. It is helpful to have at least one of those in your colonies. Oh, the dog's eating the packaged meal, I think. Whatever, it's fine. I'm gonna set this to 25. I like fine meals instead of lavish meals, because lavish meals use up more resources. They do give a good amount more mood bonus, but until you have like hundreds of fine meals, then I wouldn't make lavish meals at all. And this cooking setup is actually kind of inefficient. The cook has to get the meat from the fridge, then run to the rice, get the rice, bring it here, cook it, and then run out here to place the meals in here, unless it's a packaged survival meal. I don't know why. Okay, this is a low priority. Are these low priority? No, those are preferred. Did I just... Okay, I didn't set packaged survival meals to get sent there. I could have him drop the survival meals on the floor. I'm not going to do that with the fine meals. But yeah, I think that's not bad for today. I think we're using up a lot of our meat, so that's good. Oh, I still got a bunch. A bunch of squirrel meat, a bunch of muffalo meat. Killing a few muffalo gets you a lot of meat. I think it's like 250, maybe 300 meat each, and we just killed or picked up like 3 or 4 of them, and then a boomalope as well. And all of those are pretty big animals, and a grizzly bear, I think, unless that turned bad. But we should be getting more wood now. 880 on the ground there. Yeah, so that'll last us. I don't like chopping trees in the winter because the walk speed is lowered and just everything gets a little bit less efficient, but whatever. Because Militor needs some repair, so I'll have Samantha repair him. And then we also need to make another one of these so we can make an Agrahand. But I think that's where I'm going to call it for today. We can raid somebody real quick, but yeah, we mined out this asteroid a bit. Got the thrusters that we needed, that was the main goal. And we have a bunch, 1,400 extra vac stone that we can use to make gravelite panels in the future. So that is very nice right there.